everyone, welcome back to One Mouse, One Dream. I'm so excited because today is the first video in the travel series that I'll be sharing with you guys every other Wednesday as we plan and prepare our trip to Walt Disney World in February of 2016. I am so excited because today is actually 90 days out from our trip, and I couldn't be more excited than I am right now because the holidays are almost here and time is just going to fly by so fast. And with doing these videos every other Wednesday, I just know like our trip will be here before we know it, and that's just awesome. So this video is going to be sort of just a lot of talking because I want to tell you just the basic details of our trip that we have at this point, as well as sort of what we do to plan and prepare for potential trips as well. So to start, we're staying at Pop Century this time. It's going to be our first time staying at Pop Century, and I'm so excited about that because we've always stayed at All Star Sports together as a husband and wife. And even though we love All Star Sports, we were excited that we could, try out a new hotel this time on Disney property. And I've had family that have stayed at Pop Century before, and they just absolutely love it. It's their go-to resort whenever they stay and whenever they go to Walt Disney World, and they just love it. So I'm excited to get myself immersed in a new resort and be able to explore it and share with you things that I like, don't like, so on and so forth. So we are staying for 9 days at this point in February in the beginning. And we are potentially thinking about staying a 10th day. We haven't made that decision yet. We've booked our resort and our tickets directly through Disney itself. We also, in addition to the resort and the tickets, we've booked the Park Hopper. What the Park Hopper is in addition to your tickets, it makes, instead of having just like a day at each of the parks, you can go to any park on any day. So basically you can park hop from Epcot to Magic Kingdom to Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, all in one day without having to use a separate park ticket. So I would highly recommend it. I know some people don't find the value in it, but to us, we've always used it, and I will never go to Disney without using it. Unless, of course, we're only there for like 2 days or 3 days or something. Maybe then I wouldn't do it. I don't know. Maybe I still would. Who knows? But the reason I love it is because it allows you to go to Epcot in the morning and enjoy, World Showcase in the morning, and then head over to Magic Kingdom for, Wishes or something in the evening. And I just like the flexibility of, maybe one park is a little bit busier than what you would like it to be, and you're going to go to another park because you see the wait times there are not that bad. And, it gives you that flexibility of going to multiple parks and multiple experiences all in one day. So that's why we love getting it. It's a little bit more expensive to do that, but I find like the money that you invest in that is well worth it. Right now, the only thing that we can do is book our dining reservations, and we do have several dining reservations booked. We have some booked for Sci-Fi Diner, we have the Tusker House, Be Our Guest, Coral Reef, and I believe that's it so far. We are sort of taking our time with deciding what restaurants we are going to. We're trying to look into doing a couple restaurants that we've never done before, so that's exciting because we've never eaten at Tusker House or the Sci-Fi Diner, so I'm really excited to be trying those out this year, as well as Be Our Guest. So 3 of them we've never done. I've eaten at Coral Reef before with my family, but it'll be the first time for my husband, so all the selections that we've done so far are things that either he hasn't done or we both haven't done. So that's sort of where we're at as far as the actual details of our trip at this point. So what do we do to start? This can be such a vast description for so many different people because we all have our ways of planning and preparing our Disney trip. I could probably spend hours and hours and hours talking about what we do to plan and prepare our trip. I'm just going to try to break it down in a couple different details for you guys in this video, and hopefully you guys will get some tips that you've never heard before, or maybe something similar, but you can sort of tweak it to how we do it. I don't know. So first, there's 2 websites that I'm going to mention. These 2 websites, we are always checking them out on a weekly basis. because they just have a ton of information as far as Walt Disney World, and the other one has a couple other resorts like Universal and so on and so forth. It shares the information for those parks as well, but obviously we're specifically looking at the Walt Disney World information. So the first website is called wdwmagic.com. Again, wdwmagic.com. And the second one is undercovertourist.com. Undercovertourist.com. We love both of these websites for various reasons. I'm not going to go into details about each of them, but I will mention that the Undercover Tourist website we use a little bit more frequently for our actual choosing of the dates of the time of the year that we'd like to go, because they have what's called a crowd calendar, and it looks like this. So the crowd calendar is great because it sort of estimates how busy the parks will be during the time of year that you're potentially going. It ranks out based on green, meaning like low crowds, yellow, moderate, and then red, high. It also breaks down each individual park for that specific day. So what's really nice is Magic Kingdom might be green, but Animal Kingdom is going to be red, or Epcot's yellow, so on and so forth. So it's really cool to take a look at that prior to even choosing your time of year that you're going to, because we've used this website every single time that we've gone to Disney, and I can tell you with experience that it has been almost 100% accurate every single time. I shouldn't say 100%, but let's say 90% accurate every time. I don't know how they do it or what the method is or whatever. I mean, I'm not an expert on that, but I just love the fact that it has always been, pretty accurate for us whenever we've gone to Disney, and we will never not use that when planning our trip. I just think it's awesome. I mean, there's just so many things that I've learned from using these two websites that I definitely would recommend for you guys continue looking and reading into them, because again, it might help you plan your trips a little bit more easier and less stressful. So once we look at both of those websites and sort of get an idea about the time of the year we'd like to go, or if there's special things going on, we then sort of narrow in on that time of the year. We've typically gone during February or March, or September and October. We love those two times of the year for specific reasons. One, it works out for our jobs. We both are in retail, so it's not busy seasons for us by any means, and it works out good for taking vacations during that time. We also love it because it is the value season for Disney. What does that mean? It just means that it's the least expensive time of the year to go for Disney. So you get a better bang for your buck on your actual resort trip. So those are the two big reasons we like going that time of the year. And it also means the crowds aren't as big, and you typically don't have to wait in long lines for attractions and rides and so on and so forth. So that's the third reason why we like going during those times of the year. We only book our vacations directly through Disney itself. We just typically have found that the outside travel agencies or other websites just typically aren't the best pricing. We always use Disney.com and then the Parks and Resort section to help sort of plan out our trip. This website gives you a wealth of information. Even if you just decide that you're going to book a trip through Orbitz or through AAA, you can still start here on this website and get a lot of information as far as the parks, the different resorts if you'd like to stay on property, as well as any maybe special offers that Disney is offering. They have a special offers section that we always check out first too, to make sure that there's not any special offers during the time of the year that we are interested in going. If there is, we sort of start planning our trip that way. Like I said, we've always stayed at the value resorts because we are park people. We like going to the parks. When we're at Disney, we're there to be in the parks. We want to be immersed in the magic 24/7. Yes, your resort, you will have magic there as well, but we don't like using the pools. We don't like using the extra recreational activities. Not that we don't enjoy those things. It's just when we go to Disney, we want to be immersed in every single park as much as possible, because that's what we're paying for. You know, you're paying to go see the, you know, the attractions, as well as riding the rides, walking through the shops, eating, so on and so forth. That's what we're paying our money for. So for us right now, as two grown adults, we don't have kids yet. We just find that staying at the value resorts are the best way for us to go. Would that ever change? I don't know. I personally don't see, I don't know, the money. I don't think it's worth your investment to spend to stay at a deluxe resort. Maybe a moderate resort, but for us, I don't know, like, yes, those big pools are nice and the extra activities are nice and so on and so forth, but I feel like you can have just as much Disney experience and Disney magic at the value resorts compared to the moderate or the deluxe. Yes, I can't speak to the deluxe resorts because I've never stayed there, but I have stayed at the moderate resorts before, and I don't see much of a difference. That's just me personally. I don't care how big the room is. I mean, that might change once we have kids and things, but for right now, for the two of us, the value resorts are the way for us to go. So once we, you know, choose our type of resort, we then start to plug in the possible dates, and we, you know, look at pricing. Once we've sort of narrowed down potential dates that we'd like to go on our trip, we actually then call the Walt Disney World reservations itself. We love calling the reservations for Disney because we love speaking with the cast members. We love their interaction with us. It just gets you more excited about your potential trip. And the bonus thing about this is, even if you found what you think is the best price for the trip during the time of the year that you'd like to go, down to the specific dates, when you call Disney reservations, they might offer you a better deal. They do this, and it's happened to us several times. So what do I mean by this? Well, you call and be like, I'd like to stay such and such dates at this resort or possibly this resort, and they're going to give you the pricing for both resorts. It might be the exact same price what you found yourself on the Disney website, or it might be a better rate because they have a different offer that you didn't know about because they don't have it listed on the website under the special offers section. This has happened to us twice, and it's happened to us just this time. So when we were looking at booking our trip for this vacation, we called and we were trying to look at the All-Star Sports. We realized when we were trying on the website itself, it wasn't showing any available dates for the All-Star Sports that during the time that we wanted to go. So we're like, oh, that's a bummer, but they were showing music and movies. So we're like, okay, well, maybe we'll try music and movies. Well, we called, and you know, they did try to look for All-Star Sports as well, and they couldn't come up with anything. And they are like, well, just let me put you on hold for a couple minutes. So they put us on hold, came back, and they're like, well, we don't have All-Star Sports, and I know that you guys don't necessarily like music and movies for a couple reasons, and those reasons might be silly, but in the value resorts, All-Star Sports is the first of the resorts that you get to when you're coming to the value resorts. So if you're coming from, say, the airport, they're going to first drop off people at All-Star Sports. Then they're going to go to All-Star Music, I think is next, and then movies. So it's the same way when you're trying to get the Disney buses to and from the parks each day. They're first going to pick up people at All-Star Sports, then they're going to go to music and then movies, or whichever way it is. And then in the same way, on the way home, they're going to drop people off at sports and then the other two resorts. So what does that mean? Well, that means if you are the first one picked up, you have a better chance of getting a seat on the bus versus having to stand. And it's also, you know, nice on the way home. You don't have to wait to go to those next two stops to get home to your home resort. So it's less time spent on the bus. So those are the couple of reasons why we like staying at All-Star Sports. So we told the agent that, and they're like, okay, we understand that. That's all right. So that, like I said, they put us on hold. They came back on, you know, the phone with us, and they're like, well, what about Pop Century? You know, have you guys ever considered staying at Pop Century? And we're like, well, we have, but it's always been a little bit more expensive than staying at the All-Stars. And he's just like, well, I can offer you for such and such price. Oh my goodness, it ended up being like, I think it was like almost $200 cheaper to stay at Pop Century than it was at the All-Star Movies or Music. And we're just like, what is this? He's like, oh, well, this is just a special offer that I'm able to give to you guys today. And, you know, if you're interested, I can, you know, go ahead and get it booked at this rate for you. So we didn't do anything. We didn't say anything. We didn't ask for any other special details or different offers. They just gave it to us. So I know this might be, you know, sort of extra special magic that they gave to us specifically, but I know it can happen to other people too, because it's happened to us in the past as well. And the other thing that's cool about going through Disney itself is if you book your trip with them and say 2 months down the road, a new offer has come out which would make your trip less expensive, you can call Disney and they'll apply that new offer and give you the refund basically. I love that. I love that you can call them and you can ask them, oh, are there any special offers, or I saw this discount, and they'll go ahead and do whatever they can to get the best deal for you. And like I said, I feel like they've always gone above and beyond, you know, more than we could ever imagine to help us, you know, get our trip at the best possible price. So those are our reasons that we love booking through Disney itself. So like I said, we book just our resort and our park tickets through Disney itself. Once we've chosen the dates and things, we then, even before we actually officially book the trip, we start looking at the flights to make sure that the dates that we are looking at sort of have great deals for flights as well, because I don't ever like to book just the flights or the resort before looking at both of them, because we want to make sure that we're getting the best deal for our money. Once we have the dates sort of tentatively set in place for the actual resort, we then will look at Southwest. We've always flown with Southwest. We love Southwest for so many different reasons. We love the fact that they have a vast amount of flights to choose from. We typically like to fly early in the morning so that we can get to Disney as soon as possible, so we have almost a full day, our first day there. We also love the fact that they have numerous non-stop flights. We love being able to have a non-stop flight. It's less stressful for you. You don't have to change planes and worry about if did your luggage get on the new, plane and to make it to your destination. We just love having that non-stop feature. Again, it gets you to Disney much sooner than having to do a change of planes. We also love, the third reason that we love Southwest is the fact that you get two check bags for free. I feel like I'm that commercial. We love not having to pay a dime for any of our check bags. I know there's other airlines that might have a cheaper actual flight, but then once you add on all of the luggage fees and things like that, like nobody ever comes close to Southwest, and we've checked. We've always checked Allegiant, we've checked Spirit, we've checked Frontier. Nobody ever comes close to Southwest when it comes to like the last number that you possibly have to pay for your flight and your baggage, because Southwest, you don't pay for anything for any kind of luggage. Like I said, you get 2 bags checked for free. You also get a free personal item which will fit under the seat in front of you, as well as an overhead carry-on as well. So you could get 4 bags for free per person. That's 8 bags that you could take to Disney for free that you don't have to pay anything for. And like I said, if you really add up what it costs to fly Frontier and to fly the other cheaper airlines, you're going to end up paying more because of those baggage fees. And then you're going to feel stressed because you're like, oh, I should only take 1 bag. Then you're going to have to try to like wash your clothes and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to have to deal with that. I'd rather just like take as many clothes as I think I need for my trip and not have to worry about doing laundry on your vacation. I know some people it works for them, but for us, I don't want to have to worry about dealing with laundry unless I absolutely would need to, say like the weather was not what we expected it to be and you needed to wash clothes then that's different. But I don't want to have to initially like think about the actual having to wash my clothes. So those are some of the things that we love about Southwest. The last thing I think that I can think of that I like about Southwest is the fact that you don't feel like a pack of sardines when you're on your flight. I've flown on some of the other airlines, and I just felt like you're crammed in those sections of the seats and stuff, and that's just another perk that I like about Southwest. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share with you guys in this first video. I mean, I hope you guys have learned a couple tips and tricks that you can possibly implement when you're planning your next Disney trip. I know that there's a lot more that I could have shared, but I didn't want to make this first video too long and detailed because it's a lot of talking, but I wanted to be able to at least give you like the basic details of how we plan and prepare our trips. Hope you guys have a magical day, and stay tuned in 2 weeks for the next video in the travel series. Take care.